Hey guys, this is Ashley White, the owner of the Polka Dot Alley, and I'm so excited to introduce you to the Alley podcast. Okay, everybody, we are back and we are going to finish this conversation. So we were talking about Holden, your son, and how incredible it was that you knew you even actually just said you couldn't imagine not being a mom,
Right.
but you also struggled with, do I want to do this? It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm into my career. I'm
Right.
happy with my husband.
Right.
Do I need to have that? But you, in the end, said yes. I can't imagine not.
Right.
So at 35, you were like, "It's now or never,
Yeah.
baby. This
Yeah.
is time."
Yeah.
And easy to get preggant, hard, easy pregnancy,
Easy pregnancy.
easy delivery.
Yeah. It was also good. My friends were like, you are the person that needs to have more because everything was so good. Although I did have him a month early. And that's a funny story just because I literally, I wasn't one of those. I didn't go to the classes like little mamas.
Oh, right.
I didn't do any of that. I didn't read books. I didn't do anything. I just was like,
But it all worked out.
Well, yeah, except for I did have that book, what to
expect when you're expecting.
And I just
Didn't we all?
Yes, I just gotten off the set and I gotten home. It was midnight and I was going through the mail and I shifted my legs and I was like, that was weird. What's that? And so I went to the bathroom because you think water breaks, it's like this huge thing.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And it wasn't. So I was like, what is this? And then there was just a little bit of blood, like not to get gross or anything, and I'm like, but then I had called Jonathan, and he said he wished he had a camera because he walked in, and I'm like sitting on the toilet reading. I'm aware of what month am I on? Like, yes, exactly. And I literally went to the hospital with I had it was February, so it was cold. I had knee-high black boots on, a black dress, and a black blazer, and my hair all done with my purse. And we get there, and because we called the doctor, and he said, yes, go in. And they literally put me in a wheelchair and wheeled me out. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then they check everything, and they're like, yeah, you're like,
You're having a baby.
Yes, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, it was crazy.
See, mine was total opposite with Ellison. So I never got to have that moment, and I was always sad about it. But whenever I remember having those appointments when I was pregnant with her, and they say, do you want to, which I don't know if they did this back when you had Holden, but for me with Ellison, it was real popular to schedule your date. And so it was like, do you want to schedule or not? And I lived in Lubbock and my mom was in Florida. And I remembered my mom being there when Katie had Presley. And I was like, well, I've got to have my mom here. I want to be, none of my family lives here.
Right.
I want to be able to know they're going to be here, my sisters. And so I was like, well, yes, I want to schedule, but I was real like, I don't want to have a C-section. I want to experience it all. And she was like, okay, well, let's just schedule it. Maybe you'll already be ready. We can also look as we get to that date and see, whatever.
Right.
So I scheduled it. Well, here's the thing to anybody who has not had a baby, or once you get pregnant, you're ready to get that baby out of there.
Uh-huh.
So when it gets to that time, you are done. You are like, I am done. Yeah. I'm ready. So there was at that point, I was like, okay, let's just do it. Like, and they say, we'll give you the Pitocin, we'll give you whatever. And, hindsight, I do wish that I had waited because I wish I could have had all of that and had the water break and had the whatever. Right. And once you have one C-section, you're more likely to have others, which, it's funny. Sometimes I do think that by having that C-section with Ellison, so my point was when they went to break my water, I ended up having a placental abruption. I got rushed into an emergency C-section.
Yikes.
It was terrifying. So I talk about bleeding out on the table. It was crazy. I very quickly went from, oh, you have all day, we're going to be hanging out, everybody go get some food, to they came to check me and said, we're rushing you in right now. It was an emergency. And it was crazy. But sometimes I think that happened so that Harrison could live.
Oh, wow.
Literally. Because had Harrison not been a C-section, when Harrison was born, he had bilateral choanal atresia, could not breathe, was purple when they put him on me. He had no nasal openings at all. He was 100% a mouth breather. And had I had him vaginally and had that kind of a labor, who's to say? Who knows? Because he wasn't able to breathe. So had I been pushing for a long period of time, all of those things, they've said, we don't know how it would have been for him. Had I not had to have had a C-section with him, I don't think I would have. And because VBAC was so scary and my doctor was not willing to do it and James didn't want me to do it, I didn't. So I really do. I think sometimes things are meant to
Yeah,
be.
for
I say all
sure.
the time, I think that the placental abruption and the C-section with Ellison happened so that it would have to happen with Harrison. It's weird.
That's
Anyways,
amazing.
okay, so
That's
you
amazing.
had great pregnancy,
Yes.
all these things. He came early, but he was healthy and things were good.
Valentine's Day.
I
He was
love, is
born
that not meant
Valentine's
to be for
Day.
you? Talk about
I know.
exactly what you think.
Crazy.
So you had him. Did you keep working when you had him?
I only took 6 weeks off.
And then you
And
were ready to go
I was,
back.
yes. I was like, oh no, this is too hard. Like, I could never be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I'm like, those are the hardest working, under like appreciated
Yep.
people on the earth, and I could not do it. I'm like, this
Agree.
is way too hard. Like, literally, it was the hardest thing ever. And I
By the end
was,
of summers, I'm like,
yes,
okay.
yeah, no, 6 weeks, and I went back. Luckily, it was really nice. I had my mom and dad at that time that helped a lot, and then we had another firefighter's wife that she worked in the morning and got up at noon, and she just had her two little ones, so it was kind of cool. Holden had like little like sisters, because I would go get him. He would be asleep at midnight when Jonathan was at the fire department. So I went. So he got to be at a home, and this was the. They
That's
were such a
perfect.
blessing. Like the just best people in the world that helped raise him.
So you kept
Amazing.
working and all that time. And I would imagine, in being in the news and all that, you were probably into fashion then, even because
Uh,
you had to pick your outfits and decide
yes,
what to wear. So do you feel like you've always kind of enjoyed dress? I know you always
always.
have your hair done and
Yeah.
your makeup done. So is that something that you've always kind of
Always,
loved?
always loved fashion. And my mom was never like, she will tell you, like, I was telling her, she said, when you were in kindergarten, you were telling me what to wear. So I literally was telling her what to wear. My mom wasn't into hair and all that. I learned how to French braid my own hair. I remember, since we're just getting off the Star Wars thing recently, I remember when Star Wars was out, and I did my hair, like I did the two space buns. I like wanted the space buns like Princess Leia, and I did it. I've loved clothes always. The news was different back then. I called it Anchors RS. We had to wear a blazer. We couldn't show our shoulders.
Pantyhose,
Yeah,
probably.
yes, pantyhose, and our hair couldn't be longer than our shoulders. So the first thing I
They
wanted,
had a hair length rule?
absolutely, yes,
Why?
because they didn't. They said it was a distraction. Like, we couldn't be a distraction from the story that we were reporting. And now look at
Wow.
them now. I mean, they're
That's
like, you look at anchors now,
crazy.
and they've got the sleeveless and long
Yeah,
hair.
everything you couldn't.
So like, after the news, after I would finish my career there, I literally, like, I want long hair forever now, because I had to have a bob
And
the
do
whole
you feel
time.
like whenever you finish that, have you been in fact? I know you were obviously at a retail store before me. Had
Yeah,
you been at any before that also?
no. So I probably would have done news the rest of my life, because that's always what I wanted to do. And literally, I was there 15 years, 5 years as a reporter, 10 years as the evening anchor. And I got a call on a Wednesday that they were shutting down the TV station on Friday and wanted to move me to Albuquerque. And I
You said no way.
absolutely not. Have you watched Breaking Bad? Because that's Albuquerque. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Love you.
Nothing against anyone in
Nothing
Albuquerque.
against. Well, they know. If they live there, they know. Just kidding.
But and you had been in New Mexico, so
Yes,
you knew
I grew up in
Jonathan's
New
working
Mexico.
in Lubbock,
Yes,
your son's at
yes,
school in
yes,
Lubbock.
yes, yes. Well, yeah. At that point, we're still in Roswell. We're all still. This is all
Oh,
Roswell.
gotcha,
This is
gotcha,
still
gotcha. So by the time
Roswell.
you moved to Lubbock, you were done with the news.
Yes, yes, I was done with it.
Oh,
So what I had to do, I got it. Jonathan still had a few more years at the fire department, and so I went into marketing. I worked actually for a home health care agency, and literally just went to doctors' offices
which
every
you would be
day.
great at.
It was so fun. I'm like, literally, I just talk to doctors all the time to send us referrals, and that's it. And the funny thing is, most, because Roswell was small, they mainly would ask me stories about the news, which was so funny. So I did that for about 2 years, and then we moved to Lubbock when Jonathan retired from the fire department. And I knew, like, I needed to work, not only just financially, because
But
just,
you like working.
but
People.
I will always work. I will work to the day I die. I have to, that's another thing. I will work harder for anyone else than myself, which is kind of strange, but I work,
Well, not it's not strange because you're a pleaser and
yes,
you like validation and you
exactly.
like reactions
Yes,
and you like
yes,
people.
exactly.
And I think we're all a little bit like that, but I think different people um I can feel validated by hitting my own goal and
Right.
by being proud of myself for doing something. Like, for example, we've had a very productive day today.
Yes,
I'm feeling so good about it. So
yes,
I'm going to leave here and be like, yes, we accomplished this and we did
right.
this and we did this. And it makes me feel like I did a good job and validated myself. You feel like that if I tell you,
Right.
and that's why I do try, and I hope you think I am. I do
Yeah.
try to like text you and say your hair looked good this day,
Yes,
or I like
yes,
that you said this
yes,
day, or
yes.
whatever. And Kim very much also, if I don't say something, she'll say, I don't know if you saw this story, but
Ah.
I wanted you to see this, or I wanted whatever. And I love that she does that because she knows that I maybe don't see. I mean,
Right.
y'all know you don't see all of ours. I don't either. There's a
Ah.
lot of stuff, and so I think that is your
Yeah,
personality,
yeah.
that you,
I'm a
and
people
part of
pleaser for
your
sure.
feeling happy is
Yes,
that reaction from somebody else and
yes.
whatever. And so you need to go somewhere to
I
get that.
do. And yeah, so I will always work so hard for anyone, but I'm just not disciplined in to myself. You know what I mean? I have to have someone to get ready to get up for, which is, it can be a
Well,
little
I think that's the
sad. I'm
difference.
just
No,
kidding.
no, I think that's most people. I think
Yeah,
that's the difference between a business owner and not.
true.
And
Absolutely.
that's like the other night I was laying in bed and I got up. I was going to
Yes.
Netflix and I was like, no, I'm going to go live and I'm going to go in there and do it. And I
See,
think
I wouldn't.
I saw a thing yesterday on Facebook that said most entrepreneurs and business owners, um, have to be able and willing to encounter a level of stress that the majority of the
For
world
sure.
couldn't handle or
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to imagine or
Yeah.
something. And it's true. I think you
Right.
just are kind of a entrepreneur kind of
Right.
brain, or you're not. And you're also somebody who, you've gotten really good, by the way, at stories and coming up with all those things. But I know for a long time you've been the what do you want me to do
Right.
person. And we'll get into that. We'll talk about what you do at the store, but
Right.
you're more of the tell me what to
Tell me
do
what
and
to
I'll
do.
do it really well,
Absolutely.
but I'm not
Yeah.
going to come up with what to do
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I just want you to tell me,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you're great at that. And we
Well,
need those people.
well, that's sweet. But yeah, so we got to Lubbock and I just was like, what am I going to do? I don't want another career per se. I'm
You
like,
want something fun.
yes, I wanted something fun. And I just applied and I got on at a boutique. And the funny thing is like, timing, it's timing. When we met, I was ready for a change. I've been there 6 years and things were changing there and I was ready for a change myself. So I was praying hard. So
Isn't that
you were
weird?
an
And then I
answer
just
to
walked
prayer.
in that day and
Yes.
she's told me that
A
before.
total answer to prayer. I mean, I can't even, it was. And look at where we are now.
So when you saw me in there, I don't think I've ever asked you this. You knew who I was. You knew
Yes.
who we were.
Yeah.
In that moment, were you already like, "Ooh, I think I want to," like it
Absolutely.
did that day?
Yes.
You kind of thought it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. When you came in, I'm like, oh my gosh, because I'd watched your lives and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna be reaching out to her. So yeah, totally. So yeah.
And it worked out. So I told you in the last episode how that kind of came into fruition. She reached out a couple times.
Uh-huh.
We ended up interviewing her. I think everybody in the building who met her that day was like, okay, wait, she's so sweet. We have to have her. She's amazing. Whenever I decided to close the Lubbock store, at that point, Kim's husband was actually working here in DFW.
Yeah.
So he was working here. He's still working for them. He loves his job. He's great at his job. And he was back and forth. And the funny thing is, as much as Kim just told us she is a people person and happy and a pleaser, she gets tired. She gets depleted. And I think that is really true for people like you. I know anyone I've known who is like you and is always happy and always perky and always whatever, that's exhausting. And I know that just from when we did have the storefront or when we've done Christmas holiday shows or things like that, and you are on the whole time.
Yeah.
At the end of a live, if you ever catch
true.
me at the end of a live, if Rocky was standing there with the camera after, the same exact thing I do at the end of every live is I go, like,
Yeah.
because it is very draining in a way that anyone who hasn't done it wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
It's fun, and when you're in it,
Yeah.
you're hyped and
Yeah,
you're
it's
jazzed and
adrenaline.
it's fun and it's adrenaline and you're talking and you're perky and whatever. And then it ends and you're like, whew.
Yeah.
Like for an hour or
Fresh.
two, I just talked to myself essentially.
Right.
I smiled the whole time. I loved everything. I was hyped and I was amped. And then it really does drain you. And when you're like that all day in a storefront, especially.
True. Yeah.
I could never do it. If I would have had to work our storefront, we would have never had a storefront. Any of my locals that know, they would come in. Half the time I was hiding in my office. If they did come in and peek in and see me, or I walked out to say hello and I got spotted by somebody, when I get in the conversation, I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm in it and I'm happy and I'm talking to you. But then the minute it ends, I'm like, okay, I got to go sit down.
Right.
I can't smile any longer. I can't talk any longer. I am not a super like all day people person. That's why market honestly exhausts me. She loves going to market. I despise going to market. because I know too many people now at
Yeah.
market. I know all the vendors. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of the boutique people. A lot of them that I don't know do know me. So it ends up where I'm talking a lot that
Right.
day, and I'm
Yeah.
smiling a lot that day, and I'm hanging out with people a lot that day. And it's a lot. And
Yeah.
by the end of it, I'm like, I am tired. And so for you, it actually probably came in really handy that he
Oh,
was
for sure.
gone, because at the end of the day you could go home and just unplug and you didn't
Absolutely.
have to please
No.
anyone, you could just
No.
relax. So you
Exactly.
liked that long distance. How long did
Absolutely.
that long distance go on where he was working here and coming home on weekends?
3 years.
So for 3 years it was you and Holden for
Yep.
the like his high school
Pretty
basically.
much. Yep. The whole
The whole
time.
time Holden was in
Yep.
high school, then he was going back and forth. So when we made the decision to move here
Mm-hmm.
and she came on, I remember her saying, I might be there eventually. Like,
Yes, I did.
Jonathan's there.
Yep.
I might move there. And I'm telling you, if you had at the time known Kim and known Holden, and at the time I'm thinking, this kid is not leaving Lubbock. He's so close to his mom.
Right.
She's so close to him. Um, he was late getting his driver's license. He had
Yes.
no desire to drive. He was just, they were real tight knit, as I
Uh-huh.
think it usually is when you have one kid.
Yeah.
You were a really close knit family, the three of
Yes.
you. You did
Yes.
everything together.
Yeah.
You talked about him all the time. I
Yeah.
thought, he's going to go to tech,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also that's not abnormal in Lubbock. When
No.
you've got a big school, I feel like
Right.
you have a big school in your town. A lot of people go to that school. They were
Right.
raised hearing about that college. It's not abnormal.
Right.
So Ellison talks about wanting to go to tech.
Right.
So I'm thinking she's just talking. These people have lived in Lubbock forever.
He's going to go to tech.
He's going to go to tech. She's not going to come. So when we made the decision to close the store, the online was doing great. We lived here. It just wasn't making sense. Stevie's like, you got to close that store. I was
Yeah.
like, I know. James was like, you got to close the store.
Yeah.
So I decided to close. And I remember talking to Kim and being like, I wish there was anything I could have you do, but if
Yeah.
you don't live here, I can't. And I
Yeah.
was devastated.
Yeah.
She was like, you never know. I might end up there. And I
Yeah.
thought, that's just something people say.
Yeah.
She goes on and works at another boutique. They got to have her from me for about a year.
Yeah.
Because Kim is truly loyal and good at what she does, she was sad to leave us. I even offered her something to stay with us. And, it all is telling with what we're talking about, because she was going to just be working, by herself at home. And I was willing to pay her to do anything just to keep her. So when the store closed, I said, maybe you could do this in the group. Maybe you could do this. And she was like, I love you and I appreciate it, but I need to be with people. And
Yeah.
she did. And
Yeah.
I love though that you know what you need.
Right.
You know what makes you fulfilled. You know what you have to do. And we had many conversations about it. And I was like, I'm okay either way. I want you with us, but if this isn't what you want to do and you think you want to go do something else, it's fine. Because she had at that point already told me she had been offered. They had reached out to her
Yeah.
because that's what some people do, and that's okay. But you know how good she is. So they had been trying to get her since before they knew that we were moving.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So
so
funny.
they'd been trying to get her. She was honest with me and upfront and said, I might do this. I said, it's okay if you do. I will not be mad if you do, but know that I have this opportunity too if you want to do this. And she was like, I just have to be with people. I have
Yeah.
to be in the store. So while I was gone, she went and did that. She immediately, of course, was posting about them on Facebook and doing it because she's loyal and that's what she does. And she loves what she does. And I love that about her. And I love that, like, wherever she is, she loves that place and she gives her all to that. And she is in it and she's loyal to it and she believes in it. And it's true. And it's like you're not fake about it. You really love where you are and you make the best of every situation that you're in. So we never were out of touch. We were always
No.
still Facebook friends.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was still great. I would check in. How's it going? Whatever.
Yeah.
She would say, watch out. Like, I'm still probably going to come there
Yeah.
one day and work for you. She came and visited at one point
Yeah,
when you were in
I
town.
did.
So Holden's in high school. Y'all are super close. You're working at another boutique. We've moved here. You're still following us. You're
Yeah.
still watching lives.
Absolutely.
Holden ends up deciding that he's going to go away to college,
Yeah.
which is so bizarre.
I
So
know.
tell us kind of how that started and where you were with all of that.
Well, he had gone a few years ago. My niece was looking at the University of Colorado Springs, and he had gone with my sister and my niece to look at it.
Excuse me, I'm
Bless
so
you.
sorry.
Bless
That
you.
hit me, and I was like, don't do it, don't do it.
You
And
can't
it
hold it
happened.
back.
Okay,
But-
so he had been looking
Yes.
at out of state.
And he just really he loved it there. He thought it was beautiful. It's a smaller school. And
So he's kind of like you in that regard.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know, he just was like, I'll tell you, the year before too, he went on a trip, 2 different trips. He went to New York with my sister and my niece, and then he went to Germany. And he just saw other parts of the world and was just like,
Experience.
I want to experience. I want to go out
Good
and do
for him.
things. So when he told us and he got in, and basically Jonathan and I were like, well, you got to get it paid for. We're not paying for out of state, right? And he did. And not only that, he went in as a sophomore. So with his dual
That helped
credits.
too.
Yeah. So I couldn't believe it. I mean, really couldn't. Like you said, I mean, he wasn't real big on
Just
getting
not
his
the
loss.
type.
No, he was like he was my buddy. We were together all the time. And it was funny when he did go, like he hugged me and was like, Mom, promise me you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I had so many friends tell me, he'll be fine, he'll be fine. I'm like, I know he's fine. I'm not fine.
Yeah.
So I was the one that really struggled. He didn't. He's
And so this
thriving.
was just last year, guys.
Yeah,
so he
thriving.
just graduated at almost a year ago.
Almost a year
so
ago.
a year ago in May, and she had reached out, I want to say like January of that
Yeah.
year, and said, he's going to be graduating.
Yep.
He's going to be going away. I think I'm going to be moving there.
Yep.
Are you going to have something for me still? I said, I'll find something for you.
Yeah.
Like, you've always got a job with me, so just get in touch. Let me know.
I literally was like, because I'd seen so many models and I didn't know quite how it was all working with models and lives and whatever. I was like, I will do.
Yeah, she's like, I'll pack orders. I'll do whatever.
I just wanted to come back to work for her. So
yeah, she was like, I will do whatever. I just want to work. And I was like, girl, I'll find something.
Yeah.
Like, just reach out. We're going to do it for sure. And I think I said, come visit me when it gets closer.
Right.
Like, if you come in town and see Jonathan, come visit me as it gets closer. Let me know, because things change so much, obviously.
Right.
Staffing, you never know what could happen or who you could have at that point or what role I would need her for.
Right.
But I had a really good feeling, and that's what's funny. So I won't call her out in case she doesn't want me to, but we have a customer who posts videos sometimes and who loves showing her fits and all of that, who's around your same age. Well, before they knew you were coming back, she was reaching out saying, what if I did some, you could mail me stuff and I could go. I don't know if I've ever even fully told her that was why I didn't, but she had talked about, she has a daytime job, but she was like, I'd love to do something to get extra credit. And I like doing videos. People like seeing me. But I knew that I already had Kim coming that was going to fulfill that role for me and that demographic. And so I knew at that point, I will have you in front of a camera. I mean, you're just good at it. And I knew that you would want that, face with people and all those things. So I knew that's what I'd have you do. It was just a matter of, at that point, will we be doing day things? Will we be doing that? What will we do? And bringing you back for that. So we knew earlier last year that you were going to be coming. It worked out perfect. He graduated.
Yes.
But you didn't, it's not like she immediately came. She had to actually grieve for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really did. Like,
yeah, it was tough.
You said you even went and to the therapist after that and were like, maybe up me a little bit for a while.
I did. No, it was, I knew it was going to be tough. Jonathan was still over here and Holden had left, but, we knew there was going to be a little bit of time.
Like a gap.
A little gap that, he needed to get things in order here. And so it was pretty much the whole summer. I guess I get my year, it was the first of the year. He was already gone. So it was the first of the year that he had gone off to school.
So you just had a little bit of a break where
so
you were kind of alone for a lot of it.
And I would literally get off work and I would go to bed and cry. It was so hard. My friends were like, let us get you, and I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to cry. And for me, what it was the end of a childhood.
For sure.
Anytime Holden comes home now, he's visiting. And I grieved that. It was, I didn't even cry when he went to kindergarten or like any of those milestones in his life. I mean, I was excited. I loved seeing him grow up. I loved the different phases and the personalities and everything.
But you weren't sad about him.
I wasn't sad. And this hit me like I've never
Well, then
had
somebody
anything.
better be ready for me because I get sad with every milestone.
So this one was tough. And I did. I had to snap out of it. I went to the doctor and they helped me and figured out what I needed to feel better. And I always know medicine's not always the key. I needed some coping skills to, how to cope with it and stuff.
But sometimes you need both.
I got
okay.
both. And I did. And I am not too proud to go give me what I need.
Exactly.
I help me. I don't want to feel like I am.
I think I'll be the same way, honestly, when Ellison goes and when Hayes goes. And it's so sad when you've got that middle kid because everybody's like, what about Hayes? Of course I'll be devastated when he goes. But I feel like when the first one goes, it'll just be, she's my only girl.
Yeah.
and she's who hangs out with me. And
Right.
like the boys want to go with James, or they
Right.
want, And so I'm like, I feel like when she goes, it'll be the first time I'll be seeing it, and it'll be my only girl. And then when that last one goes and you're by yourself, I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine,
Yeah.
And anytime you've talked about it, I think you almost think, was I being silly? And I'm like, no, I would be the same
Right.
way. Like, I can't even imagine, especially how close the two of
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah.
And with Jonathan working away and it being
Oh, yeah.
you two watch shows together and
Oh,
you would
yeah.
have dinner together.
It was him and I so much of the time, because Jonathan literally was gone all week, would come back on Friday and leave again on either Sunday or Monday. So it was just him and I a lot of the time.
So I think that's so kind of just a really good reminder and something to think about, that even if I think sometimes happy people and really positive people almost make themselves feel worse when they aren't on a day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're somebody who is generally happy and positive, and then something happens, whether it's, a death or a loss,
Right.
or, your situation, him moving away or whatever it might be. For me, the first thing was when Harrison was born,
Right.
and his health. Just like you said, I didn't want to see friends. That was me.
Right.
I would not let anyone come see him in the NICU. I did not want to talk to people.
Right.
I wouldn't answer the phone. I didn't talk to anybody. I just wanted to be alone, and I didn't want to have to explain anything, and I didn't want questions, and I didn't want people asking how I was doing, because I wasn't good.
Right.
And I feel like that is the worst. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you're not doing well, you don't want people to ask
Right.
how you're doing.
Right.
I'm doing crappy. That's
Right.
how I'm doing.
Exactly.
Like, how do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you want to say.
Yes.
You want to say, how do you think I'm doing?
Right.
But then you have to be nice and say, well, I'm not good. Or,
Yeah,
oh, I'm okay.
exactly.
And so there's just no good answer,
Right.
when someone says, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's, well, I'm not good.
Yeah.
So, but I think for someone who normally doesn't have that happen, and then you do, you almost have this guilt for being unhappy. And you almost have this like, well, how long am I allowed to be unhappy? Or what are
Right.
people going to think if I'm unhappy? And so I think it's so like, telling. You always say you wish you were more like your dad. And I
Yeah.
can tell you that I don't know your dad, and I never did know your dad, but I have a feeling that you might have already surpassed your dad. I think I'm truly, Kim, truly. I think that you don't give yourself enough credit. And I think how wise to be able to say, I'm struggling. This is not my normal. Like I struggle like a normal person, but this is deeper.
Right.
I'm not okay, but I know I will be okay.
Right.
I need time. Maybe I need to talk to somebody. I need to figure out how to cope with it. And I think you obviously found ways to do that and go, okay, there is a rainbow on the other side of this. I'm sad, but I'm going to figure it out. And I think that's pretty awesome too.
Wow. Thank you.
So really, I just think that is important to see. So Holden left. You struggled with that. The timing was perfect for you to come
Yes.
here and
So
be with
good.
us. And it honestly, she fell right in with the team, which she's going to fall right in with anybody, because that's just how Kim is. Everybody loves Kim. Everybody adores Kim. Another thing that's great about you is I feel like over the years, I've had, 17 years, I've had every type of individual work for me at a different place or another. Right. You've got people who are just really positive, and you're like, I want them in the workplace no matter what, because they bring up the just overall feel of everything. Mm-hmm. You've got people who are just really hard workers. You've got people who are very good at what they do, and they are great at coming up with ideas and whatever. You've always got all these different people. It's really rare that you find someone who really does have all of those things. You are one of those people. And that's why I've always said, I mean, when we first were having you come back, Stevie was like, yeah, like everybody that knew you was like, yes, like we need her. She will be awesome. And she is. And if you take her on a work trip, I'm like, you're going with me for the rest of my life on every work trip. She's easy. She is positive. She is always happy. She is always down for whatever needs to be done. The day that she had to run around like a chicken with her head cut off at 30A and do the lives, she was like, it was the funniest thing. I went to get her and I'm thinking, oh, she's probably dying. She's probably hungry. And I see her and she goes, that was so fun. Like, I want to do more. And I was like,
so
what?
fun.
What are you talking about? Are you normal? Because she is fueled by that. And so
Definitely.
she was steaming for us the whole time. She was like, we'll eat wherever. She's like happy in the mornings. I mean, she really is just a joy and joyful. And so when I brought you back, I was like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And of course, Katie loves her, and Rocky loves her, and Alexa loves her, and Stevie loves her, and everybody gets along with her. And she walks around the building and is smiling at everybody and happy and making them happy. And I feel like we are so lucky and blessed to be able to have you. You always say that you're going to work till you die. And I'm like, you're working here till you die. So
Absolutely,
I'm
yes.
never letting you leave again. And for all you other boutiques, don't even think about it, okay? Because the only
No.
reason it worked last time is because we were moving.
Yeah.
So Holden's now gone. It's the cutest thing. We'll be on a trip or we'll be anywhere, and he will watch her. Jonathan watches her when she's live, which I love. And he'll be like, oh, Mom, this is good. And Jonathan's
Yes.
like, oh, this was good. And she'll tell me, she'll say, oh, I showed Holden this of us. And we can't wait. We have a surprise, hopefully, coming up in May that you guys will have to keep watching for.
Yeah.
But I love it. So now she's back with us. As you know, she goes live every day. She's started doing a lot more with stories, which is really fun. She does a lot with steaming and prepping for models and getting everything ready for their photographs. She's great at what she does. She has a similar style to me, but in a different style. I feel like when we go to market, she loves all of the poofy and the big fabrics and the bows and the girly.
Yeah.
You love feminine styles and not, I wouldn't say necessarily the modest, but you do like the what I think of as kind of plantation,
Right.
Sunday church.
Exactly.
You know, you
Yes.
do like
Yeah.
those, maybe the not vintage, but the styles that you used to have to wear.
True.
You're used to
Holly
the
Hobby, like
yes, like the
Yeah.
and it's all very cute and it's different from what I pick, and so I love it because I'll be, even if she's not with me, I'll be at market and I'll be like, Kim, this is a
too
Kim,
funny.
this is a
Yeah.
Kim. And sometimes it's so easy to know she likes the jumpsters, she likes the jumpers and the textures. I can instantly look at something and know either this is something Kim would love or this is something that would look great on Kim, and it makes it so easy for me to know. I feel like Katie's definitely more aligned with she likes what I like. So she, because she's that little pesky younger sister that always stole my clothes. So it's nice having somebody who I can go, okay, the poof arm, the collared, the buttons, you like all those things and they look really good on you. And so that's really nice having somebody with a different perspective and somebody that can bring in, you like a lot of the cottons and those things, the Mazik you love. And so there's a lot of stuff that it helps me to have her eye and something different. And I think even though it's funny, us sitting together around 10 years, over 10 years apart, and when you're young, that seems huge. So if you're watching this right now, listening to this per se, you're 20, you're like, oh, that's huge. What do you mean? You're in your 40s, you're in your 50s. When you're our age, it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We sit together, her and Katie sit together, besties every day, and you forget that they've got nearly 20 years between them, but it doesn't feel like it because when you get to our age, we're mothers, we're wives. We're the same,
life,
right? You really do feel like you're the same. But I do think that when you are that age and you're not sitting here, somebody who's 55 watching me, they think I'm a lot younger. You don't feel like I'm a lot younger because we're together.
Right.
So we're hanging out together. And so we feel more equal.
Right.
But I think a customer watching this, when they are older, they think of me as somebody younger. And so many of our customers I know were thrilled when you came on because they were like, oh, good. She can make, if she can wear it, I can wear it. And she lets me see that it's okay for me to wear it.
Right.
And I think what's so fun is how young at heart you are. And I hope I'm the same when I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, because it is a number. And we do tend to feel younger than what we are. And we still are like, wait, aren't I your age? What do you mean? I'm not? Okay.
I don't
and I laugh.
55.
I know. And that's the thing. And that's what I love about it, though, is that I think you bring that sense of life to the lives and to the things to show those ladies that are in their 50s, because you're right in the middle of the 50s. Right. So whether they're 50 or 60 or older, I think, or younger, they can aspire to be like that. I think it's just so awesome because so many times you will see lives from other boutiques and stuff and they are younger. Yeah. And so I love that Katie's in her 30s, I'm in my 40s, you're in your 50s. Yeah, and then we got our 20s girls over there that we pop in every once in a while as specialties. And I think that shows everybody maybe where they were, where they are, and where they're going one way or the other. And it's really cool for us to be able to, offer that to them. Yeah, so I love it.
I think fashion's so fun too, because I just don't put an age on it.
Exactly.
As long as it's appropriate, right?
That's the one thing that does kill me in the comments. Don't start panicking if it's you. I rarely pay attention to who makes the comment, but we have certain times where I'll see comments in lives and in the group from people that will say, if I was younger or
Yeah.
not at my age or I couldn't at my age. And it's like, if anything, I think it's more of a body type.
Right.
You know, sometimes
True.
if you're too short or too tall or too hippie or too busty, there may be a look that just doesn't complement your body. I do understand and agree with that.
Right.
Age, however, no. And so even I have to catch myself in a live when I'll say if I was younger, I don't even mean if I was younger in that I'm too old. I mean if I had the body that I had when I was
Right.
younger. I
For
think it's
sure.
more related to
Yes.
what would fit certain body types, but age-wise, who's to say?
Right.
Look at what is her name? Iris, you know, the big black
Yes,
glasses, and you love
loved
the
her.
style, and it's like she wears colors and
Yes.
brights, and I just don't think there's a limit
Yeah.
on it. I think it's what makes you feel like you look good, what makes you happy.
Right.
And that's a whole other episode
Oh, yeah.
we did about the style and styling your mood and knowing that for me, I think you're the same.
Yeah.
The way I dress sometimes, and if I put makeup on, if I get myself ready, that can determine my mood for the day or how productive I am that
Yeah,
day.
for sure.
And so I think if we put an age limit on what we wear, what are we doing to we're limiting. It's
Yeah.
just another way of limiting. Like, so now I'm not allowed to wear this because I'm this age. Now I'm not allowed to wear this. Who said?
Right.
Why? Who
Right.
made that rule? You know?
Yeah. It should be
I don't-
fun. I love fashion just to have fun.
Okay, so Holden's now been gone for a while. You're in your groove.
Yes.
You miss him, but you're used to it.
Yes.
It's kind of
Better.
like you and Jonathan are
Yes.
newlyweds again because
Yes.
you're living together full time with your
Yes.
husband.
Exactly.
So you're in a happy place.
We're in a very good place. Yeah. Life is good right now. Really, really good. So
Yeah, you've adjusted.
Yes.
You're loving it.
Love it
So
here.
what do you do when you're not at work?
Well, I will say I'm not a morning person, so I love to sleep in.
Same,
That's one
girl.
of my things. Like Saturdays, I sleep in. But things I love to go, like, I love to go shopping, and I like to go anywhere I
Clothes.
can sit on a patio. And it's not even that I buy, I like to walk around. I just like to walk around, but like outdoor shopping centers, like little fun areas, go sit outside. I love that. Anything in the sun, I love. Like
Sun is your happy place.
It's my happy place. I have really good friends. I'm really good close girlfriends that I just need that. Jonathan knows that. Like, he's never gone on a guy trip, but he's like,
Isn't that funny? I
it's
feel
so
like
funny. He's like,
men a lot of times
he doesn't
aren't-
care.
That's
Yeah.
how James is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time men don't need that the way that we do.
Yes.
They don't need, and sometimes they don't want, the guy's night and the whatever.
True.
Not all men are like that.
Yeah.
They don't all need that. Whereas women are very like, I need my girls.
Yes.
I need my girls tonight. I need my dinner. I need
Right.
to like, but think about two, no offense, men, but and James does a lot, and Jonathan does a lot. Jonathan
They
is the
do a lot.
chef.
Yes.
Jonathan cooks everything at her house. James does not cook, but he definitely cleans everything, and he does a lot with the kids and things like that.
Right.
So I saw a TikTok the other day that said, "Let's keep it even." And it showed how a man will drop his laundry like on the floor in the bedroom or something, which
Right.
James does not do. Thank God.
Yeah.
Jonathan probably doesn't either.
No, not really.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
see, they're good.
Yeah.
But it was showing how a man does that and how a woman will get frustrated. But then it shows the woman picking up all of her boxes and her trash, and she just tosses them in the garage
Right.
instead of taking them out to the dumpster.
I do
and
that.
I was like, that's a fact, because I
I do.
totally do that.
Yes.
I will take stuff out of an Amazon box and then just stick the empty box right inside the
Right.
garage instead of just going out to the garbage
Exactly.
bin or something. And he's always like, you could have taken that to the
Right.
trash. But anyways, it's so funny. But I do think that women usually do a lot.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a lot for the kids, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or not. You're the one that's, doing the homework, and you're picking out the outfits, and you're doing their hair, and you're setting doctor appointments, and you're also working, and you're doing all these things. And so our husbands are not usually as chatty as we are.
Right.
So they're not going to be the ones that we sit and go over all that
Right.
with and can vent to, and we can talk.
yeah.
They don't understand
No.
because they're like, who cares? Just put them in
different.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just do whatever. And you're
Yeah.
like, no, we have to do this. And then
Exactly.
what am I going to do for this holiday? And we have to have everything for their basket. And we have to have
Yes.
this. And, the men are just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And Women understand that. So
Oh
we
yeah.
need to go. Like I had my girlfriend last night, Ashley, we had dinner and we sit there and we talk about like everything with Ellison going on at school and her son.
Sure.
And we're talking
Yeah.
about our husbands and we're talking about,
Right.
everything. Whereas guys don't care as much about
Yeah.
all of that.
Exactly. And, I told Jonathan, he goes, well, why can't we make it a couples trip? And I'm like, because the girls, when we're all together, we're in our jammies, we're getting ready together, we're switching outfits, then we go,
It's just
it's
different. It's a
different.
different
Yeah, it's
vibe.
a
And I've done
different
girls'
vibe.
trips and I've
Yes.
done couples trips.
Yeah.
Both fun, but they're different.
Yeah.
They're different vibes. So you've
Exactly.
got a girls' trip you go on every year.
Yes.
You go on a
Yes.
trip every year to go see Jonathan's
Yes.
family, which
Those
y'all
are,
love
yes.
doing.
They're in Idaho.
One of her
Idaho.
favorite memories, I know, because she's told me the story a couple times, is Disney.
Oh,
You
yes. We
loved.
used to take Holden every spring break to Disneyland since he was little. So, but now he's bigger. But he actually, for his 21st birthday, he wants to go to Disney World. We've never been there. So
See, and
he
I've
wants
only
to go
been to
Disney
World and
World.
not Land.
Yeah. Isn't that
Because we're
funny?
Florida people.
Yeah.
So, I've
True.
always gone to World and not Land.
Got it.
Okay, so all the fun things about Kim. Before we wrap this up, I'm going to do a quick question and answer session,
Oh,
lightning
gosh.
round. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it. You're not going to have time to think, and you're going to give me an answer.
Oh,
Favorite color?
pink.
I mean,
Uh,
favorite food?
Mexican.
Fav-
Do you need a food or Mexicans? Just,
I think we can go with
okay.
Mexican.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
fine. Favorite cocktail?
Mimosa.
Favorite thing for your coffee Starbucks order?
Just cream or
Oh, you just do black with creamer?
creamer
You
and a
don't do all the
sweetener.
extra and
No.
the special and the whatever?
No.
Okay, favorite PDA item that we've ever sold? It's a hard one. How do you
What?
narrow?
Oh my goodness, I can't think. There's too much. I don't even know. I mean, I, there's too much. I can't even.
I can picture one that I've seen you wear a couple times.
Meredith?
Meredith
Yes, I
jumper.
was going to say Meredith would be
You
one
love
of
your
my first.
Meredith
I
jumper.
love my Meredith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ball cap and Meredith jumper I feel like is
Absolutely.
one of your go-tos and is really
Absolutely.
cute.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, favorite concert, which I know, fun fact, she's only been to 3.
Madonna.
How do
But
you,
that was
how do
back
you
in the
beat that?
day. Blonde Ambition, 1988.
Favorite car you've ever driven?
Oh, my Navigator. I did Navigator.
I wanted a
I had a
Navigator.
Navigator.
Okay, that's so funny. I wanted a Lincoln Navigator, and James said that was an old person car.
Really?
Rude.
No.
Yeah. I was like,
I
maybe I'm
loved
old.
it.
I don't care. That was a couple years ago. I
Yeah.
really wanted that, and
Yeah.
he was not down for it. Okay,
Yeah.
favorite movie.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say Titanic just because I mean I have so many, but
Jack.
I know Jack Titanic, but then I love The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
And
I love The Greatest Showman.
Yes, that's one of my very favorites too. I love movies. I know you love movies. I love movies.
I know,
Most
I
of the
do.
time I see them a lot.
I love The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Okay, what lip color, lip brand do you wear?
MAC, Creme de Nude. I've actually had people stop me and go, "What is that Creme de Nude?" Yeah,
Really?
with a glass. Yeah.
Okay, perfume.
I mean, I do all the dupe Baccarat Rouge, but
Yeah.
the dupe ones.
So you want to smell like
Yes,
me?
but I would say Alien is my.
I love Alien.
Alien's one. Yeah,
I used
love
to wear Alien.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had only one makeup item that you could live with for the rest of your life, be it mascara or foundation or powder or lip gloss, you could only have one thing of makeup, what would it be?
Lip gloss, I'd say.
I think that would be mine too, but I'm pretty dead without mascara, so it'd be a
Yeah.
really big toss
I
that.
was gonna
But
say, yeah.
I feel like lip gloss because of functionality,
Yeah.
let's try,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
because of how it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not a reader, so I'm not going to say
No.
favorite book. Okay,
No.
back in the day, were you a magazine girl?
Yes.
Like
yes.
you would read. I remember. I don't know if that's as big of a thing anymore. Probably not because people are doing that on social media
Right,
now.
right.
But I remember I would get People every week. I could
Right.
see you doing
Oh, yeah.
more of the like
People.
fashion ones and stuff too, though.
Well, I like all, me and my celebrities, but People and
Us Weekly.
Yeah, Us
I used to do
Weekly.
Us Weekly
Yes.
and People. And what was the third one? There was the third one. And I would buy all 3
Yes.
every time I'd go to the airport or anything like that.
Yeah, those, or then I get Cosmopolitan and things like that. So
Okay, beach or mountains?
beach.
I knew you would say that.
Yeah, beach. Yeah.
Car ride or airplane?
I mean, I prefer an airplane, but I don't mind a car. We do road trips, but I prefer a plane just to get there faster.
Okay, TV series or movie?
Movie.
See, and I'm TV series.
Yeah.
I'm like that with books too. I want it to be something where it's like, I know there's something coming after
Yeah.
it. I just finished the movie on Amazon Prime the other night with Anne Hathaway. We talked
Yes.
about that earlier. And I had already read the book. And I was excited to watch the movie, but it left me wanting more, which I know is kind of
Right.
the point of a movie. But at the end of a movie, I'm like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
I just spent an hour and a half, 2 hours getting invested, and I need more. So I love that a show I
Yeah.
can continue
I
on.
would binge, but it's funny because I'd watch a series almost like a movie because I would binge watch the whole thing in one day, like, or 2 days, some of them, you know.
If you could have dinner with anyone, past, present, future,
Oh my,
famous, dead, alive, who would it be?
I mean, I'd say my dad first, but if it's a
Same.
I'd say Jesus. Is that weird? But
No, that's not weird.
I
So you could
would.
ask all the burning questions?
Yes, absolutely.
No, that's not weird at all. The other day in the car, Hayes, I was saying something about, I said, do you love me bigger than the moon, to the moon and back? You know, we always will do that
Right.
little game. And I said, do you love me past all the galaxies? And he goes, well, I don't know. He goes, because is God in the galaxies or out of the
Oh,
galaxies? And I
so cute.
said, well, probably out. Why? And he goes, well, God made me and he made you. So no offense, but I have to love him more than you.
That's
And he goes,
amazing.
and if he's in the galaxies, then I can't love you past the galaxy.
Oh
Like it was
my,
like he really, and I go, okay, it's
wow.
fine, bud. You love me. It's fine. It's
That's
fine. And it was cute
amazing.
because he was like, okay, let me think beyond.
That's amazing.
Okay. Last two questions.
Okay.
These are going to be hard hitters.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm in my reporter era over
Uh-oh.
here. You've
Okay.
inspired me.
Oh gosh.
If you could have any one wish for Holden in life, what would it be for?
You know, I wish that he or pray or want for him to find a career that he loves where you because that's the best. Like you spend most of your life working.
And he doesn't fully know what he wants to do yet.
No. And so I literally pray for that every day that
That
he
path
finds,
for him.
yes, that he finds something that he loves and can make a good living. Because, that's, I mean, that would be perfect to find something you get up. Because I love to come to work every day. Like, this isn't like, work to me. This is, I'm
And
like, I
that's,
get paid to do this. This is
no,
crazy.
but that is also so
So,
telling that so many people, if you're not career oriented and that's
yeah,
not your thing, immediately a mom would say, I hope they find someone or I hope they have the health. Obviously, I know you want those things too.
right.
But that goes to show how much you are fed by being fulfilled in what you
Absolutely.
do every day.
Right.
And I love that people get to see that it's okay for a mom to feel like that. It's okay for a woman to feel like that because I think women are just so trained to feel like we can't think about the career as much.
Right.
And I think you're proof in the pudding, as they say, that you can be career focused, but you can also still be a good and loving mom and a
Yeah.
good wife, and you can be fulfilled and you can be happy. But you can say, it's okay that I want that. I need that.
Right.
And that's my joy and
Right.
that's what I love. And you want that same thing for your son
Yeah.
because that's what resonates for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, you spend most of your life working, so you want to find something that you love. And
I
so
love
I
that you
pray.
love us.
Yes, I am so thankful to be here.
And I'm
For
so
sure.
thankful that you are. So that leads me to that last question is what would you like to see either stay or go in going forward? What's your hope and prayer for PDA?
Oh, my hope and prayer is just we keep growing and growing and reaching more people and them loving us and seeing us who we what I love about PDA is yes, we have great clothes. There's a lot of great clothes out there, and we have great clothes, but I think you've got the following you do because of who you are and I think that's what draws people. The people, like we have the most amazing people. I don't know. I mean, I know you saw a little bit in the stories, but almost everything people said about what they love about working
I
here,
did love that.
almost everyone was like, "It's the people."
Yeah, yesterday when in the stories she asked everybody, not everybody, 3 or 4 people in the warehouse though, what do you like about working here? And I was sitting in the kitchen with James watching that and I was like, "Oh, I love
Yeah.
that not only did everybody say people, but a lot of them said that it was laid back or they liked that it was relaxed. Like
Yeah.
we're not high stress. We're
Right.
not and let me tell you, over the years, we have had moments where, and it very much depends on who you employ. And we have had people that maybe are like that, and it can, one spoiled apple can ruin the bunch. And
For
we've
sure.
worked very hard to have just positivity, happy people that want to be here. I've never wanted anyone to work for me that doesn't want to work for me.
Right.
If you don't want to be there, please, like
Yeah.
we'll all be happy. It's fine. Just find
Exactly.
something else to do. Don't stay just because you need the paycheck or because you need something to do. Be happy. Life
Right.
is short, you
Right.
know? And so I do love that everybody was
That
like,
was so cool.
it's
Yeah.
relaxed. We like each other.
Yeah.
It's fun, because it's so easy to 40 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to find joy when everybody else around you also feels that way, because you can get that energy off of
Oh,
other
for
people.
sure.
And if you've got one Eeyore, it can
Oh,
take the
yeah.
whole bunch down.
And that's why I think like the lives too, people can see that.
That
So
you're having fun.
yes, you're having fun and selling cute clothes. And so people are buying the experience and then they get a cute outfit out of it, you know. So I think that's
And
what's
I love that
great.
you want us to grow. I have had people over time that, and that was nothing against them, but they liked things small and they
Oh,
didn't want necessarily more people coming into work. And that transition can be really hard when you go from being a small group to having maybe 2 dozen employees. You know, it's a lot and it's
mm,
a big change and it's a big difference. And so you have to make sure that you're really strategic in who you bring on and who you hire. And I think both Stevie and I have done a really good job of making sure we're good at that. And
yeah,
even if somebody, we've interviewed people before that we were like, man, they're really good at that, but I
right,
don't know that they'll mesh with their
right,
personality. And so we have to really focus on finding people that, and let me tell you, we're not all the same. We've got some really
right.
quiet people,
Sure.
we've got some really chatty people, but we made sure that we got all people that we were like, I think they're going to fit. And I
Right.
think we'll be a good team.
Yeah.
And I think we have that. And I love our team right now.
Yes.
It's so good.
So good.
And I love
Yes.
your hope. I hope we keep growing too.
Yeah.
But I've always said, I'm happy with where we are. I don't want to grow faster than we're ready for. But, you know, we're always ready for the growth. I feel like this building has us really ready for that
Right.
now. We're in a bigger spot. We're in a happier spot. There's good lighting and everybody
Yes.
can feel happy walking around. There's air conditioner,
Beautiful.
all the good food places around here. So
Yes.
we've got a good team. We're primed. We're ready for the growth. I've got the beauty sitting next to me going live every day that you're able to catch. And you'll start to see maybe a little more of in the evening sometimes too, and more from her family and
Yeah.
things like that. So I think that'll be really fun. So I'm excited. I love that you're back with us. We missed you while you were gone. You're never leaving me ever
No.
again.
No.
I will pay her just to hang out with me if I have to at some
Whatever.
point. If
No.
if I ever sell or something
No,
happens,
no.
you can just come and be with me. We'll
Yes.
figure it out. But
Yes.
she will be with me on the trips. She will be with me as long as PDA is in existence. I can't fathom anything happening to change it. Your loyalty and your friendship have meant the world to me. I am thankful for you. I
Thankful
know
for
the
you.
customers love you. I love you too.
I love
And here's to seeing you on the next live.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Happy birthday to us.